Secretary Blinken. He is testifying at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, House Foreign Affairs Committee, and then tomorrow the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee.
The fact that we're getting this testimony, this hearing essentially this soon after a crisis, is actually kind of impressive. We actually get to have some answers.
I expect some of it to be heated, but we also always, in Washington, we put that, these were members of Congress that a couple of weeks ago, I'm talking about on the Democrat side more, a couple of weeks ago, sound like they'd be pretty tough in a hearing like this. It remains to be seen if their rhetoric and their tone has completely shifted over the last couple of weeks, as they don't really want the American people focused on this as a party.
If it's just like an impeachment trial, if it's just like a lot of these things that have happened recently, you're going to have it split. Nothing's going to get said. Nothing's going to happen. We're going to move on. Or do you actually have representation of the American people, which is what we ask for? And the fact that you can see the poll numbers, you can see the numbers of the way people are responding to this, you can see the chants going on around the world, in relation to the administration. People want answers.
One of mine that I want asked immediately is why, and Rick Rennell wrote about this in a piece last week at aclj.org, answer why Secretary Blinken was silent when President Biden pulled the 2,500 troops, U.S. troops, 5,000 NATO troops from war-torn Afghanistan that we knew was going to be taken over by the Taliban. Even at the best estimates around now, the Taliban would be taking over. And why was that done before evacuating State Department employees?
Why did you cancel the Crisis Response Bureau? Because remember, it was the State Department that was responsible for making that cancellation. And then second, Jordan, I really hope somebody pushes the secretary on how far up the ladder did that descent cable go. You've talked about this a lot, but the people inside the department who disagreed with the tactic, we know it got to the secretary's desk. I want him to answer, did I read it? Did I understand it thoroughly? Did I understand the gravity of it? And Jordan, who ultimately did I share it with? I think he should answer the question, did you make the President of the United States aware of this cable?
I would like the Secretary of State to explain whether he believes there was indeed an intelligence failure, or on the other hand, was there a failure of will by the Biden administration to leave no American behind? He also needs to explain his rationale for not opposing the Bagram Air Force decision, basically to close that Air Force base before withdrawing.
What's going on with the vetting? Is it true that people are being pushed through, and then we'll figure it out on the, quote, back end? We've got quotes like that. We've heard statements like that from the administration, from Blinken, and I think they got to be pushed on that.
Can't fly them into Dulles and then check and see, oh, by the way, does this person have a terrorist connection, for example, Jordan? You have to do that before they come to the United States for national security reasons. But the second reason, and you're probably the best position to talk about this, Jordan, it's for the people who actually are refugees and need safe harbor into the United States. Because if you don't follow the vetting process, and the process is abused by people who do pose a national security threat to the United States, who does that cast suspicion on? It casts suspicion on the people who really are fleeing for their lives.
Anything else you want to see asked today?
I hope this gets some eyeballs on it. People can see whether the truth is coming out or whether you're going to have someone dodging, which is sometimes even more truthful.
Whether or not the Biden administration is prepared to give the Taliban terrorists American money. And if so, how much?
I would like him to be asked what the Biden administration is prepared to do now and in the days ahead for the religious minority, including the Christian community, still on the ground, and for women and girls still in country. Jordan, we have got to look at history. We know exactly what the Taliban and, frankly, Al-Qaeda and other offshoots do to these groups of people.
My big fear is that Secretary of State Blinken will engage in his usual duplicity and try not to answer questions directly.
He's got kind of two options here. Lay it out, maybe talk about some of the discussions that he may have disagreed with, protect himself some, or he's going to just play the line of the administration and just not answer things that they don't want to.